GMGAGE. My name is Dan, N7DSX, and I thought I'd put together this quick informative video on the IC705 interfacing with an external power amplifier. The reason I'm putting this video together is because I follow the IC705 group's IO email chain, and there have been a lot of emails back and forth about how you could do it. Does this work? Does that work? There's one gentleman that is making interfaces. There's another gentleman out there that's making amplifier cables. I've got cables and I've got interfaces, and everything kind of worked plug and play for me. So I thought I'd just put this together real quick, and hopefully it helps somebody else out there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up the 705 here. And real quick, I want to say that I found a video online that showed me how to put a picture inside as a startup image. And so what I did is I took a picture of my call sign license plate, and now it's my splash screen on the 705. So here we go. Let's fire up the 705. And there's my plate. I love it. And here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start off real quick. I know there's been questions about the tuner. The tuner just plugging in and not having any issues. Now, I personally did not have any issues with my tuner. I bought this LDG Z11Proii. I bought it from Ham Radio Outlet about a week ago. So it probably has the most recent firmware settings. And again, like I said, it does not have any issues with plugging and playing. So I'm going to take this Belkin stereo cable. I had it in a box here. Simple stereo cable, and I'm going to plug it from the tuner port on the IC705. And it will go into the back of the tuner, my Z11Proii. Now the cabling, I've already got all the antenna cables set up. Just kind of make this quick and easy. And again, I've got a bunch of extra cable here, so I'll just kind of toss this back here. Now this tuner has the batteries inside, so don't have to worry about anything else, but go ahead and hit function, go to menu 2, and long press on tuner. Now we're tuned, we've got it set up, and the way that it tunes is when you go ahead and change bands or change frequencies, and it doesn't have that memory set, you just key up. So I'm going to jump over to a different band that I'm usually using. And let's pick, oh, there we go. I'm going to key up, and when you key up on the microphone, the tuner actually engages. So there is the tune, and it's tuned down. So I'm going to jump back over to 20 meter, and I will get to tune again. So just one quick key, and the tuner works. That's the only thing I had to do. I didn't have to change any settings. I didn't have to download any type of firmware or anything like that. So that's how it worked for me. Your mileage may vary. Next up, I'm going to go to the amplifier keying interface. That was one big thing that a lot of people were worried about, is frying the front end of their unit by having any type of voltage going back and feeding into the 705. I put out an email in the chain asking how to do this, and I had a nice guy come back and say, hey, I make interfaces, I could do this for you, so it's definitely doable. But I decided to rob Peter to pay Paul. I took the ARB 704 Ameritron interface from my AL811, which usually powers up my 7300. It's just a 600 watt amp. But again, I already had this on the bench, so I decided I'm going to use it. Okay, because I'm not using this with the 7300 and the LDG tuner setup over here, I'm not using the multi-power port to power it. So I did have to use the regular connection here, the regular power connection, and I've just got it tapped into my power supply. So that's what's making this work for now, okay? Next up is we've got a couple of amplifier cables, and they are shielded RCA on one side, 3.5 millimeter on the other side. Now this cable right here came with the amplifier. This is a Juma PA100D that I bought off of QRZ. The ham that I bought it off of had already made this cable, and it works perfect. I bought this for my KX3, and with the little fitting for the KX3, it works great. But now we're talking about the 705. So I'm going to use this cable and plug it directly into the back of the amp like it was for the amp, because that's how it came. I'm going to plug into the back of the amplifier now. There is an RF sensing port. Okay, now one end of the cable is into the back of the amplifier. The other end of the RCA cable is going to plug into the amp port on the ARB704. So there's one connection. Now, I made a cable for myself. RCA on one side, 3.5 on the other. I followed the directions on where's ground and tip to ring. You could follow that and find it yourself, but this is my cable and it worked for me. So, cable number 2 will plug into the back of the ARB704 radio port, and then it will plug into the port above your tuner port, which is send ALC. So right now we're totally plugged in, we're interfaced, we're ready to rock. I'm going to turn on my amplifier here. Okay, amp is on, and we are in standby mode. Now this particular amplifier likes a really good low SWR. So even though we are keyed and we've got it tuned down, I'm going to do a quick manual tune, making sure that it drops it down to 1:1. Okay, so now here we go. I'm going to turn on my amplifier here. We're on 20 watts. At 14.223, and I haven't heard anybody here, but I'll go ahead and call CQ real quick. Is this frequency in use? All right. Let's see, that was 10 watts in, put us at 120 watts out in this amplifier. Is this frequency in use? Okay. CQ20, CQ20, November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. CQ20, CQ20, November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. I'm not hearing anybody out there, but I am going to get a little closer here, and I'd like you to see the info on the amplifier and the info on the radio. So I'm going to lower my tripod here. Excuse the bumping and shaking. This is my first YouTube video, by the way, so bear with me. Okay, so now we are dialed in on this. I don't know if you can see the face of the amplifier, but it's in operation mode and 20 watts, and here's our watt meter. I'm sorry, 20 meters. Here's our watt meter. CQ20, CQ20, November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. CQ20, CQ20, November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. Calling CQ and standing by. So that put it out at 118 to 120 watts max. It'd be great to get a call back. CQ20, CQ20, November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. CQ20, CQ20, November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. Calling CQ and standing by. Well, there's nobody on this channel here, so let's do a real quick dial turn and see if we can pick up anybody calling CQ. Oh, there's our Slow Scan TV fellows, friends.
Nice job. Thanks for stopping by for your second time.
Maybe we could jump into this net here.
Okay, Gary, there in looks like Brainerd, Minnesota. California, Hawaii net. I guess I'll make that my last one. We're out of time. This net will be back tomorrow. I should be here, and then I'm going off to visit a friend who unfortunately is now confirmed that he is going to be going to the next dimension here relatively shortly. So we'll go pay a visit. But I'll be here in the morning. K7ZS down to K7WXK. I'm going to Albany tomorrow, Mark, to visit with Harlan. Last call, Mark.
Okay, well, very good. Anyway, so quickly, K7 with the X-ray kilo relay for the California Hawaii. Anybody anywhere, come now.
November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray.
Yeah, I'm going to need a relay 7. I can get somebody coming.
Sure can. November 7, Delta, Sierra, X-ray. I'll relay you in. Kilo 7, Zulu, Sierra. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. Thanks for coming back. I was just doing a quick YouTube video for the IC705 with a power amplifier, and you came back, so I'd appreciate a signal report if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, Dan. November 7, the new Icom. That's 160 through 70 centimeter, 10-watt radio, and then a booster on the backside. 5 and 7. I'm on a Kenwood TS590 sugar, no preamps here in the Portland, Oregon Coast Range, suburb of Portland. So nice job, Dan. I'm just looking at those. I got, gosh, the new ham radio outlet catalog is in full color. And they have one of those in there. N7 Delta Sugar X-Ray. Sounds good, Dan. K7 Zulu Sierra.
Yeah, K7 Zulu Sierra, thank you so much for coming back to me. And it really is a great radio. I've done it portable a bunch, and was watching one of the email chains, and people were having problems interfacing it with a power amplifier. So here I go, and you helped me out with the contact. So thank you so much. I wish you a 73 and have a great afternoon.
Okay, very good. What did you pair it up with, Dan? What amplifier? Over?
So I'm paired up with a Juma PA100D. I bought it off of QRZ for my KX3 several months ago, and I'm using an Ameritron ARB04 for the amp interface. So it's radio into the 704, amp into the 704, and it's all plug and play. Everything's working great without any hiccups.
Okay, so what issue have people been having? I know that it used to be the Icom 706 just had an 8 cents. It was a very low, just a transistor output. It didn't have any relay at all. So has that been the issue again, over?
You know, I think it's just that it's such a new radio that people want to know how to make the send ALC plug jack work. And they're saying that any type of positive voltage on that plug can actually damage the radio. Another gentleman had made an interface, a switching interface, and when I read that, I looked at my bench and saw the ARB 704 on my Ameritron amp for my 7300 and decided to pull it off and plug it in, and it's working just great.
Yeah, well, that makes sense to have an amplifier relay buffer. I run a lot of boat anchor. I get all kinds of stuff in here in my shop. So I always run something that's got a little Darlington transistor pair to take care of all the switching transients away from the radio. Very good. Yeah, I'm looking at, of course, I would be going for there's this new, these LD MOS amplifiers are extraordinarily low drive. So you can put 30 watts will give you 1.2 kilowatts. So one of these 10-watt radios going into one of those probably gets you at least 500-600 watts out. So anyway, sounds good. Hope you share with the rest of the world your success. N7 Delta Sugar X-Ray, K7 Zulu Sierra, Dan. Have fun. Nice job.
Thank you so much, and I'll pass it back over to you, K7 Zulu Sierra from N7DSX. 7-3, my friend.
Okay, 7-3, Dan. Very good on the IC705. It's out there. Mark, did you want to finish up, or you want me to send it back to Clay?
All right. Well, I would have to say that that was a successful test of the interface here and the amplifier. So it is doable. It's absolutely doable. If you have any questions, if you want to throw something down there in the comments, I'll try to answer back. If not, again, I said this is my first YouTube video, so look for some more. I'm going to try to do some more fun stuff. Thanks a lot, 7-3 and 7DSX, and I'm clear.